So hi, thank you very much for taking the time to explain student finance to me. I've got a lot of questions and it's all a bit confusing, so I'm really happy you can help me really.
Don't worry, Scott, that's fine. What we'll do is we'll start at the beginning, and any questions you've got, we'll try to answer them as much as we can.
Okay, so what is a tuition fee?
Tuition fees are the amount that a university or a higher education institution, such as a college, will charge you to study a course with them. Normally, and more commonly, this will be a degree level course.
Okay, so what is a tuition fee loan?
A tuition fee loan is provided by Student Finance England, and it's a loan that they give you to cover the amount of the costs of the course, and that's something which goes directly to the university or higher education institution. You do have to pay back your tuition fee loan. You pay it back once you've graduated, and you pay it back once you're earning £21,000 or more.
So what about everything else then? So my accommodation, food, coffee, stuff like that?
Well, to cover everything else at university, so like you said, your rent, your food, your social life, any books and things you may need, you get what's called a maintenance loan. Now, your maintenance loan is provided for you by Student Finance England as well, and that is to help you with, like I said, all the other bits apart from your tuition.
Okay, so how much will I get?
Well, how much you get is very dependent on your personal circumstances. So what we say is that's something that's means tested. And when we say means tested, it's worked out on your household income. And therefore, like I said, it's very dependent on your circumstances. But we do assess that in advance, and you will know how much you're going to get. Student Finance England will pay your maintenance loan on your first day of university when you enrol. So you won't get the money when you've accepted your place on UCAS, it will be on your first day when you're physically at the university. This more commonly tends to be from mid to the end of September, depending on when your welcome week is.
And is there any additional support available? Is there anything further?
Yeah, there can be a range of different support, which is also assessed depending on your needs. And most of the additional support you don't necessarily have to pay back. These are things like the Adult Dependent Grant, the Disabled Students Allowance as well, and also if you have children, you've got a Child Dependent Grant you potentially get as well. There are some documents that it's important that you have ready when you're filling out your application. You will need your passport or your birth certificate. You will also need the account details of the bank account that you want your student finance to be paid into. If at a later date you do choose to get a new account or open a student account, you can always put the details of your new account in, so don't worry too much. You'll also need your national insurance number. In order to assess it on a means tested basis as well, if you live with parents or carers or a partner or a spouse, they also need to fill out a section of the form. But information on that can be found on the website .gov.uk/student finance. It's important to note that it can take up to 6 weeks for you to submit your application form, and when you send your ID off, for it to be double checked and sent back. So it's really important to maybe send your birth certificate because you don't want your holiday to be ruined by not having your passport back.
Okay, cool, that makes sense. So is there a deadline for that?
The date that you need to apply can vary slightly each year. It tends to open around the end of February, and the final closing date tends to be around May. It's important to note though that depending when you submit your application, you will be given your own personal deadline, so you need to make sure you get all the forms back in that time. If there is a delay, it means your student finance could be delayed to you coming through when you start university. So do make sure that you are double checking those dates when the literature comes through.
So how will I know how much I'm entitled to be getting?
Once your student finance form has been completed and your ID has been checked, you'll receive a letter in the post confirming the amount you will get in terms of a maintenance loan. It's really important that you check this through thoroughly and make sure if there is anything that you dispute, you get back to them to let them know, and you also have to sign a part and send it back to them to confirm that you're happy with that. Make sure you do this as soon as possible so that you don't get delays getting your money through when you start university, but also make sure you keep your letter safe, as you'll need to bring the confirmation letter on your first day of university.
Okay, and is that automatic each year?
Nope, every year you'll have to reapply for your student finance. However, you don't have to input all the information, they'll just ask for new updates on certain things. Therefore, do make sure you keep your login safe so then you can log in at the end of each year.
Okay, so when do I start repaying my loans?
You will start paying back your loan the April after you graduate, but only if you are earning over £21,000.
Okay, so how does that work out?
If someone earns £30,000 once they have graduated, their monthly repayments will be roughly £67.50. If you were to earn around £25,000, your monthly repayments would be around £30 a month. So probably around the same as it would cost you for a gym membership.
So if I was earning, say, 20,000, how much?
As it's under the £21,000 threshold, you wouldn't make any repayments. Your repayments each month would be zero.
Okay, great. What about interest?
So interest, you do accrue interest the whole way through your university journey. However, depending on what stage you are at that journey, you'll pay a different amount of interest. Your student loan is cleared after 30 years. It's cleared after 30 years, regardless if you've paid back some of your loan, none of your loan, or your entire loan. It is cleared after those 30 years.
Okay, so what about NHS funding? I hear there's been some changes to that recently.
That's correct, Scott. From the 1st of August 2017, the NHS will make quite a few changes towards their funding. This will mean that if you study an NHS course in nursing, midwifery or operating departmental practice, you will no longer receive the cash bursary and the NHS will no longer pay your tuition fees. Don't worry though, because you will be eligible to apply for the tuition fee loan that we spoke about earlier and also the maintenance loan. The particular bursaries that we spoke about as well are all something that you may also have access to. So, if you want any more information on NHS funding, please go on the Student Finance website and they've got links on there that can explain all of your questions.
Okay, so what if I was interested in studying social work, for example?
If you're looking to study a BA in social work, you can apply for the maintenance loan that we discussed earlier. During your second and third years of study, a BA in social work, you may also be eligible to apply for the income-assessed NHS social work bursary. For the criteria of this, to see if you would be suitable, you can refer to the NHS website, which will have more details for you to have a look through.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. I feel a lot better about student finance, so thank you very much.